Hey, what's going on, guys? Butterbar here. Welcome back to the channel. I will try not to be as frustrated as I am right now with Modern Warfare. Let's talk about this update, 1.07, and I'm going to try to keep my cool. I will try not to have my emotions take over. Oh my god, they want to grab the steering wheel and just plow it into a wall, but I'm going to try to keep it as rage-free as possible. Alright, let's talk about 1.07, released today. We got two new maps. We got Farmland, which you're seeing right now. You are going to be later seeing Shoot House. Let's talk about these two maps real quick first before we get into anything. Farmland, it's not a bad map. However, the game has a serious problem still with people not moving. And it's just gotten to a point where it's literally boring. At this point, I've been literally playing nothing but ground war. I've run into the same thing over and over again where people are not moving. And even though Farmland's a new area to kind of discover and move around and see what areas are, you know, where, it's just not beating the boredness that I'm getting right now of just, it's not fun. The game is not fun. The amount of just camping and not moving, and I mean, if you move, you die in this game, and that is how the game works, and it's not great, and this update didn't change that whatsoever. I sincerely doubt the change that they plan on doing later on in November is going to change anything. I think this game is going to remain the exact same. But Farmland, I have to say, is probably better than District, and I would actually kind of put it up there, maybe even better than Quarry. It's actually a pretty decent map. However, again, nobody moves in the game. Let's talk about Shoot House. Shoot House, you'll see some gameplay later on. It's not a bad map whatsoever. It's definitely a close quarters type of environment type map, and it's plays out pretty decent. However, just because the way that the map is, the way that your mini map is, you have no idea what map flow is. You have no idea where people are going to be coming from. You have no idea how to anticipate the next battle. It's just a guessing game, and the way that the footsteps are right now in this game, if you're in ground war, you can't hear a goddamn thing. You are not going to be hearing footsteps. Even if the person is literally inside you, you're not going to be able to hear footsteps. However, in 6v6, 10v10, you will hear footsteps. The footstep audio is still really bad. Even though they've said now with 2 updates they've changed certain things here and there. It's just not up to par with what other Call of Duty games have done in the past. And also too, going on with the mini-map. Mini-map, again, you don't know what the flow of the map is. You don't know what people are where you're going, or you know what's happening around you. And it's just, to me, it's again, it goes to that point of where people are not moving, people are not, you know, wanting to push out and explore and try to flank around because they're afraid of getting shot because they don't know what the hell's around them. The UAV and the UAV and the personal radar have to be the biggest crutches in this game right now because the map awareness is just garbage, and you can definitely tell that in Shoot House. And not saying that it's a bad map whatsoever, just because you're not able to anticipate what the hell is going on around you, makes it feel like it's kind of like not that great of a map. So I don't know, maybe later on in the future, when this game actually has a decent mini-map where you're actually able to see the radar and what the hell's going around you, you might see improvements. But right now, man, it is just, this game is boring. It really is. It's boring. You go into Quarry, people are on the ridge, people are in District on top of buildings in the very far back, and then now people are in Farmland where they're either on the outskirts of the map in the wood line, or they just post up in a building and they don't move. So I don't know what you do about that. It definitely entices a lot of campers, and especially too the way that the snipers are right now. The snipers drive me crazy because kind of going off of the Battlefield vibes that Call of Duty is kind of going off of. If you actually go to a Battlefield, there's not really too many sniper rifles in that game that actually give you just a one-shot kill unless you hit the head, unless you get a headshot. In Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, you could hit them in the goddamn knee and it's an instant one-shot kill. So the way that snipers are right now, to where you're not able to survive one round because you can't see somebody all the way in the ridgeline, is definitely one thing that just drives me crazy and is just insane. Let's talk about weapons. Weapons, M4, unchanged, 725, unchanged. Even if you go into the patch notes, they say that certain things have increased or decreased, whether that be ADS, hipfire, and all this other BS. It's unchanged. 725, still a sniper rifle. It's still... the TTK and how screwed up it is in this game, you could literally just be shelling out rounds night and day into somebody that has a 725 literally one shot lands on you and you're dead. It's just the way the game is. The TTK is just garbage. It is just a hot mess. And the way that they have done weapons in this game is just not great. It's not good at all. So the 725 is still unchanged. M4 is still unchanged. The gun has way too fast of a firing rate. And again, that's not a bad thing or a good thing. It's just the way that that weapon is. I mean, even in real life, it has a fast firing rate. However, the way that the game should be playing out is that, you know, like the SCAR or the FAL or the AK-47, guns that have a slow fast firing rate should have more increased damage, and weapons that have a faster firing rate should have less damage dealt. Currently, right now, that's not the case whatsoever. The M4 is just a dominant gun no matter what range you're at, just because of the fast firing rate and the shitty TTK that's in this game. What do you do about it? I don't know. I just mentioned it that you probably should increase the damage with the slow firing rate guns, but what do I know? I'm just playing a game that I'm getting slowly bored of, and it's just driving me crazy at this point that, you know, people are overhyping these damn updates where nothing is really being changed whatsoever. And again, we're supposed to have some update later on in the future of, you know, big, massive changes coming to multiplayer, but honestly, nothing has changed. Let's talk about some of the things that have actually improved with this update. They're actually I'm still running into one thing where challenges are supposed to be improved, and challenges should be getting tracked right now in a correct manner. However, one thing is I was talking about this on Twitter, is I have a challenge that is fully complete. I have the blueprint. However, it's still showing incomplete on the mission challenges. So again, more bugs still in this game. Let's talk about perks that got updated. EOD got an update. So it says EOD now kind of minimizes the damage that you get from explosives to a non-lethal amount, assuming the player is at full health. Dude, I've been getting killed by grenades with EOD. So, again, you have in the patch notes that you have increased the resistance that EOD has against grenades and claymores and all this BS. But still, dude, I'm still dying from grenades and I'm at full health. Again, there's some inconsistency that is just going on where something is said to be fixed. However, it is not being addressed. I mean, hell, we thought tanks in the quarry couldn't get nukes from sitting on the ridgeline. However, that's not the case at all. They can still get nukes. So even if it's in the patch notes, even if Infinity Ward writes in the patch notes that they have fixed something where, you know, tanks can't get nukes, or in here, you know, EOD will protect you a little bit more, take it with a grain of salt, because they might say they fixed it, but they sure as hell did not. Let's talk about battle chatter. Alright, so battle chatter, at least in their update, they said they removed the ability for enemies to hear battle chatter called out by opposing teams. That's great. I don't know why that was ever a thing that was already introduced in this game. I think it's great and all that you introduce, you know, battle chatter to where people don't communicate on mics, and I get that, but however, why was it ever a point where the enemy could actually hear the call-outs? Again, drives me crazy that some of this stuff made it through. Last thing, let's talk about, actually, you know what? We got two more things. Claymores. They say that claymores have been adjusted. So apparently the detonating an enemy claymore will deal non-lethal damage to anybody, saying that you're at full health. So you always have to be at full health. You have to be at full health. Even if you're trying to destroy, you got to be at full health. They've reduced the trigger and damage radius, and also reduced the damage with the width to better match the trigger width. So again, some of the claymores got changed, but it doesn't matter if you change the damage or you change the width or whatever of the claymores. People still camp. There's still an underlying issue in this, and Footsteps is just. You say you fix Footsteps, but Footsteps are still the most annoying thing in this game. Whether you're playing on ground war and you can't hear a goddamn thing because there's so many kill streaks and there's so much other noise that's prioritized over different things in ground war, where it's just annoying. And then you get into 6v6 or 10v10 where Footsteps, it's like someone just freaking walking around, trudging around a goddamn elephant through the map, and it just gets really annoying. Let's last thing. Maybe there might be one more. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Let's talk about Spec Ops. Apparently, there's a lot of updates that came to Spec Ops today, so I went ahead and jumped into a Spec Ops game and tried it out. Literally, the first thing I ran into a game that was already in progress. I was jumping out of the C-130 into the map, into the game that had already been in progress, And sure shit enough, I'm missing my secondary weapon. I have my primary weapon, but I'm missing a secondary weapon. So apparently that didn't get fixed. But also, too, the amount of enemies and the difficulty that the game has in this game for Spec Ops is still untouched. So, what do you do? What is the game plan for Spec Ops? Is it still just something that was just tossed to the side as just a side idea and that nobody cared about? Or are you actually going to put in some care, some dedication, give it some TLC, and actually make it a fine game mode that people want to break from campaign? They want to break from multiplayer and go into Spec Ops and have a good time. But it's not the case. It's not the case whatsoever. The amount of enemy that you still see in the game is at ridiculous amounts. You have a crap load of enemy on site to where they just deal out a crap load of damage to you as a player, so it's really hard to survive. You still don't find any high-level kill streaks in the map. And again, there's no real reward for beating the game. For how difficult the operations are, for how difficult Spec Ops is right now, there's no reward whatsoever to beat every single operation. The only reward, you get new operators, you get a little XP. That's it. That is all you're going to get from Spec Ops. And even with all these changes that they've said they made in Spec Ops, and again, you have to take it with a grain of salt because changes have come in the past, or supposed changes have come in the past, and there's still mess-ups. Spec Ops is still just frustrating, and I don't know where to go from here. I honest to God don't. I think Spec Ops could have been really fun. There's still only one mission in Spec Ops besides the operations safeguard, and that's it. But my God, man, it is insane to see of how just little care was brought into this game. So, we're supposed to have an update come out later on about new changes coming to the multiplayer. It's going to be an overall changing to the multiplayer. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not anticipating it whatsoever. Not anticipating the update that they plan on doing with revamping multiplayer. You still have a lot of issues in this game where people are not moving, and there's no incentive to move whatsoever. There's no incentive to try new weapons in this game. That's the kind of funny thing I think about it, is that there's so many weapons in this game, and why the hell try it? The TTK is all messed up. The weapons are messed up because you only have a couple of weapons that are actually pretty decent in being able to survive gunfights and do well. And I don't know where you go from here. I truly don't. The fact that you say in the patch notes that 725 and the M4 were tweaked, and I get into a game and they seem pretty alright. I don't really see too much of a change whatsoever. I'm still getting sniped with the 725, and the M4 is still a laser beam that just melts people. And you know, the funny thing is, too, is that the netcode. I swear I really do have a lot of problems with the netcode in this game because it does seem like gunfights go by really damn fast. And I just don't really feel like the gunfights are very consistent. And again, I don't think it's all about the weapons. I think it's some of it is the netcode. But that never gets addressed whatsoever. So, guys, that's it. That's my opinion about this new update, 1.07. Not a whole lot of anything. Not a whole lot of changes, and it's a damn shame because I'm really getting bored of this game, and I'm probably going to put it away before too long. But, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Guys, I'd love to know from you guys. Leave me in the comments below. What do you guys think about this? What do you think about the future update that this game will possibly get in the future for November? So, hope you guys enjoy this video. Have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you guys all next time.